Welcome to the Churro Toffee class as part of our tea extravaganza.
We are going to take it to a very basic candy making, so whether your skill level is high or low, this is just a great way to get into the kitchen and make a delicious, yummy treat.
So we had some people reach out to us and say, like, what do you guys know about Churro Toffee? And we were like, nothing.
What is Churro Toffee?
Yeah. So we did a little digging. Come to find out, it is like a Disneyland classic, which many of you probably already knew.
I guess it was just available in like one part of the park for a while, and then it was like highly requested. So you can usually find it now in all of the sweet shops throughout Disneyland. But we wanted to be able to create it at home because we're not going to Disneyland this year.
No, sad. So you start with a basic toffee. Now toffee takes some really simple ingredients, butter, sugar, salt. You boil it together and then you get a really nice crunchy layer that will then cover in white chocolate and then sprinkle it with cinnamon sugar.
As we were tasting it and enjoying it, it was like a good reminder from caramel apples. It tasted like the outside shell of the apple pie caramel apple.
Oh, which is the favorite apple.
And so if that treat is one of your favorites, this is gonna be right up that alley. Cinnamon sugar, white chocolate, and toffee.
Can't lose. Okay, before we add all our ingredients, we're rubbing a cube of butter on the inside of the pan to help prevent sugar crystals from sticking to the sides. We've added 1 pound of butter, so 4 sticks or 2 cups of butter, and we're pouring the sugar right in the center of the pan to keep it from sticking to the sides. Now our goal here is to have the sugar and butter melt at the same rate so that they stay combined. 1 teaspoon of salt. The goal is to heat this slowly, so you want to use a medium-low heat, which will help prevent it from heating up too quickly, which can cause it to separate. We love using the stove to make toffee because of the nice construction of the pan. It's going to give us an even heat distribution, which helps to keep the toffee from scorching on the bottom, but also will help cook it on the sides too. So we're going to keep stirring it to keep the butter and sugar melting evenly, and then we'll want to stir it through the entire cooking process. Okay, to help prevent sugar crystals from forming on the side, Heather's just dipping a pastry brush in a little bit of water, and then you can just brush it along the edges of the pan to help prevent any crystallization, which can just burn or make your toffee a little more crunchy instead of that nice texture. While your toffee is cooking, you'll want to grab a cookie sheet and line it with parchment paper and have it somewhere close by ready to go so you can take your pan and just immediately transfer it onto your prepared cookie sheet. Okay, so once your butter and sugar are all melted together and you've got a nice golden boil, you're gonna want to use a candy thermometer to keep track of your temperature. So we love this chef alarm, that's the one we're gonna use today. We'll just stick this on here. You wanna make sure that the probe is inside the middle of the pot, but not touching the bottom. I'm gonna get this adjusted on here. Maybe. It's great to have a teammate.
Yes, because we want to be consistently stirring this as well. It's not in the bottle.
I'm gonna hold it here. Okay, we're at 277, 280, 278. We want to get it just a little more golden. So 277 is like your bottom number for Utah. And we'll just kind of keep stirring this until we get the color that we like. See, now we're at 276. And just let it keep rising till we get a nice golden brown. And then we'll get ready to pour it onto our pan. Okay, so we're at temperature. We love this nice golden brown color. Heather's going to pour this. Let me move my thermometer. Yeah. Pour it right into the middle of your cookie sheet. That's beauty. I usually don't scrape the pan. Just let it, leave what's ever left in there because that's going to be kind of your sugary, crystally stuff. That's going to create a grainy, gritty texture. We're just going to smooth this out on our sheet pan.
It smells delicious.
It does.
Okay, so now if you're going to make it into the Disneyland style, we're gonna let it set up for just a few minutes, and then we're gonna take a lettuce knife or even like a bench scraper. We just want one piece of sharp blade to cut through our parchment into our pan.
We're just gonna score it, right?
So we're just gonna score it because the Disneylands are 4 inches square, which are huge and massive, but also it makes it really fun to gift. But if you were like, hey, I just wanna have these for a fun treat, you can cut them into whatever sizes you want. Yeah. But now is a chance where you're gonna score it, because if you let this set up all the way from here on out, you're just gonna have to like break it into pieces.
And it'll just be a little more organic.
Yep. Yeah, but both are going to be delicious. It depends on how you're going to be getting it.
Okay, so Heather's going to score the toffee here with this lettuce knife. It's nice because it's plastic, so it's not going to cut through the parchment, and it's just going to help create those shapes so that when the toffee hardens all the way, you can snap it along those lines and you'll end up with that classic big piece of toffee that you get at Disneyland. Now, you can also not score it and then just break it by hand, and you'll get kind of a more rustic shape. Shabby chic, organic, whatever word you want to use.
When you're cutting it into pieces, if you decide to just keep it organic, from here you could leave it as like a full sheet and then just pour white chocolate.
Sure.
And then the cinnamon sugar on top.
Kind of like a chocolate bark.
So it gives it more of a bark feel. So again, like, keep it easy. Like none of this has to be a tricky thing. Yeah. But the true Disneyland style is fully enrobed on both sides.
We'll dip the whole thing in white chocolate. But yeah, you can just make it, you know, more like a traditional toffee, leave it in the pan, pour your chocolate on top.
And we had let this sit out for about 5 minutes before we even started scoring.
So you do it a few times?
I will go over like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Could
you use a pizza cutter, do you think?
I just honestly don't want to cut my pan.
Okay. So maybe if you just press like really gently.
Yeah.
Where they make like those
the nylon,
plastic ones? Nylon, yeah. Or you could use a bench scraper, like the little plastic ones, or a metal scraper, and just go along it.
You could even just use a plastic disposable knife.
Or a spreader. That was
yes, like just find something that's gonna help create these grooves in there so that it will come.
Oh yeah, look how hard it's getting over there. Okay.
But we want to keep it separated so that they don't snap when they.
Because it is pretty brittle.
Yes.
Yeah. So while Heather's cutting that, let's talk about these different temperatures that we tried our toffee to. So the recipe said 285. We adjusted it for Utah temperature, so we dropped it by 8 degrees to 277. So this piece of toffee right here was cooked. There's a little white chocolate on it.
It's been through a lot.
Yes. So have we. This piece of toffee was cooked to 277, so you can see that coloring. This one you did a little less at 276.
So even just a 1 degree. So this has a good snap to it. This one has a slight chew. Some people like that.
Yeah, I like the texture while I'm chewing it. It does stick in my teeth a little more.
Yes.
So,
but that was only 1 degree difference.
And then you did this to 285.
That was like the 285. So
I'm trying to show them all.
It has like a darker flavor to it. Like it
like a little more bitter.
Yeah. But if you like that, then, but that's the great thing about candy making is that you can customize it to however you and your family like it. So
just gotta get it to that hard crack stage, so at least it sets up firm.
You don't want it to be caramel.
Yeah. I mean, this would be great with caramel too.
Yes.
We love caramel, you know that. But that gives you a little idea. So kind of play around with it. And we found that like, if your first batch of toffee turns out a little disappointing, you don't love the texture, you don't love the finished product, try it again. Don't give up. I think all candy making takes a round or two, maybe 5, till you become familiar, because every pot, every stove, every wooden spoon, every technique's gonna be a little bit different. So experiment with it and become comfortable so that you can do it with confidence.
And sometimes you have beginner's luck and it always works out, and that's okay too.
Yes, yeah. We don't hate you. We love you the same. Just a little.
Okay, so now we're gonna let this set up for a few more minutes, and then we're gonna dip it into our white chocolate, and we'll show you all the magic.
Yay. We got ourselves a little dipping station set up here. So we have our toffee.
Hey, you forgot the
Oh.
wiki wiki.
It's like a little DJ spot, you know? We got a bowl of chocolate, a pan of cinnamon sugar. So the cinnamon sugar was a half a cup of sugar to a tablespoon of cinnamon, if you're into ratios.
If you like more cinnamon, just remember that once that cinnamon hits the white chocolate, that's kind of what jumps out.
Yes, it seems like the cinnamon, because it's lighter weight, sticks to the chocolate more, so the sugar doesn't stick as much. So it's gonna look a little darker than whatever your mixture is. So if you're going for lighter color, less cinnamon.
Exactly, but if you're like, I want lots of cinnamon flavor, then
Go for it, yeah.
So we're gonna be using our vanilla appeals, and we have melted it in the microwave in our silicone bowl. We put it in for a minute, take it out, stir it, and then 30-second increments after that. You just wanna make sure that it gets up to 125. So we've got our laser thermometer here, and we're just gonna make sure that it doesn't get below 110. But the things that we're dipping today are not cold, and it's gonna go pretty fast, so we're not too worried about this. So, you ready? Are you gonna dip for us?
Do it. Okay. It's our job today.
And the sleeves up. Get ready to go. So we're just gonna dump that in there and coat all the sides. And it does get a little messy on your fingers, but that's what fun is, right?
Right?
And I'm just gonna take this now. And we're gonna shake that excess off. The same thing like what we used to do with our caramel apples. We don't want a ton of puddles as we go to set it down, but also we want that cinnamon sugar to coat it nicely. And if we have too much chocolate on there, and you
Letting
can
that extra
be a
drizzle
little
on.
aggressive with this like shaking part. Like I'm not
Shake
trying
it,
to
shake
throw
it, shake it.
but we
Yeah.
do want to get that extra off. Now we've
You
got
just grabbed that. That was nice. You got a good grip. So if you have short fingers, you're gonna need smaller pieces of chocolate.
go on this side.
Yeah, there you go.
But I would long side. So now we've got our cookie sheet full of cinnamon sugar because we do want to coat the bottom. So we don't want to miss that, and we can just, it's like playing in the sand.
Oh, look at this therapy.
Yes. And then
Sensory.
if you really want to just have some fun, leave it in there for a minute. Go
Okay.
to dip your other one and give it some time to set up. You know, give it a little shake, but it's
Oh, look
beautiful.
at that. Fun.
If you let the chocolate set up a little bit, you won't see your fingerprints coming on there, but you can also just cover it up again. But we'll just let that sit in there while we dip our other ones, and then go for it.
We're ready for the next one.
Okay.
So doing it the other way, pouring the chocolate on top and then doing cinnamon sugar is way less hands-on. But I think it'll be fun to taste this. That's a piece of toffee up on the side. I think it'll be fun to taste this with chocolate and cinnamon on both sides of it. Yum. There you have it.
And then you can package these up. The way that Disneyland sells it is in a cute white envelope bag. So you
Okay.
could just wrap one of those up and put a cute little seal on it if you want. Or else we've got such great candy boxes that it was fun to kind of put 2 or 3 in a box and then have it open like a present.
Oh,
But
cute.
these are super fun, super easy. Customize it however you want. But again, get into some candy making. It's a great way to connect with your family. The kids can do the cinnamon sugar and the chocolate part.
So
and
easy.
then mom could just make the candy on the back. So it's
Yeah.
so fun to be able to do it together. But
Yeah.
thanks for being my candy making partner
Yeah, it was
today.
fun.
Go make some toffee together.
Yeah. Bonding. Compare hands.
Bonding, literally, because we're bonding sugar and butter together.
Oh.
And big head.
This is so cute. This is a real moment for us.